Okay, we're talking personal finances. Personal finances, and the question has come up there. How much should I spend for a good, reliable car? And there's been a few different strains of thought there. Some people say you should just get unless you can pay cash, you should get a couple $1,000 Beta. Banger. But you disagree with that.
I do.
You disagree with that. You think you should spend
more.
Get a reasonable car.
I think with a car.
So how much should you spend on a car?
Well,
is there a formula? Do you use a percentage of your income? How do you work this out?
Well, unfortunately, car values don't correlate to the percentage of your income. A car costs what a car costs. So it doesn't matter whether you earn a higher, say, 70,000 a year or 20,000 a year. The car cost is the same. But I think in Australia, it's very important to have a reliable car.
Well, we got to say this for America. Most of my people from America. So we say in the Western world, Australia, America, England.
Well, Australia's particularly so because the transport's not that good.
In America's the same.
America's probably the same.
Transport's not that good either.
You need a reasonable car because you need to get from A to B, and especially for work. To work, and then the children need to go to school or be driven to school, or you need to buy your food, your groceries, and if you haven't got a car, it's pretty hard to get from A to B. So, and also I think, when you look at this situation, you need a reliable car, not just because you need to get from A to B, but just imagine if your daughter's driving a banger, and it breaks down, and there are never consequences, and there's a case just very close to us, where this happened, and she disappeared.
Mind you, she ran out of fuel. It wasn't really the car's fault, was it?
Well, I don't know.
She ran out of fuel.
So she ran out of fuel. Well, that's
and I know how these young these young kids, they spend money. They don't fucking look at the consequences. They don't say, have I got enough fuel to get from A to B? If it's on empty, hey, I got to fucking fill up the fucker.
Yeah, that's right.
So
I know that. Yeah,
there's
that's a problem.
That's a big problem.
But you need a car that's reliable to get from A to B to work to other, and if the kids use your car, especially your daughter, it has to be reliable. And I think
it's not so good to lend your kids the car. You should say to them, get off your own fucking ass and buy you can't lend cars to kids.
Well, I used to lend it to you.
You never lent me your car.
You used to drive the car.
I never drove your car once.
Didn't you?
Once, that was it.
Well, that was once too many.
Once too many.
No, well, the other kids
you can't lend your cars.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but if the child's at high school or going to university and
they're louts.
Well, how can they have their own car? Well, it's not possible.
Well, so
they can catch the public transport.
Transport.
But let's go back to the cost of the car, which is the original question.
Yeah.
I think in Australia you'd be paying probably around the 20,000 mark for a new car, or perhaps a same car second hand might be $10,000, but not less than that.
So the question is this:
so a Honda Civic,
if you're a non-car person, right? How old? What's the maximum age a car can be to buy a second hand? In your opinion, this is your opinion.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck about, and this is just your opinion. What's the maximum age you'd buy a car? Maximum age.
Well,
we're not talking collectible cars. That's a different thing.
No. Well, I think a 3-year-old car.
3 years old.
Then you can keep it for another 3 years, perhaps. And
3 years maximum.
Three years.
Up to 10's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, but you're going to drive it for another 3 after that.
Yeah.
So you want a car with 3, and then it goes for another 3. That's a reliable car, and will keep on going with minimum breakdowns. You don't want a car where it breaks down all the time. It's cheaper to buy a better car than pay for repairs.
Okay, so 3 years old.
3 years old.
What other criteria?
And say no more than 50,000 kilometres.
50,000.
Yeah, well, you do 20.
That's 35,000 miles.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Well, that's what we want, a good car. We don't want a car that's done 300,000 kilometres in over 3 years, and
So what are you saying? What else? Well,
that's the first thing.
3 years old. 50,000 kilometres.
50, maybe 60. Well, normal person does 20,000 kilometres a year.
Okay.
In Australia,
60,000
kilometres maximum. And 3 years old. But if you can, you should buy a brand new car.
Sure.
Because it's under warranty. All the repairs are paid for by the manufacturer if something goes wrong. The tyres are new, the battery's new. Nothing's going to really break down.
So what's the maximum that you would spend? How much to spend? What's the dollar figure then?
Well, I'd say about the 20,000.
$20,000 mark.
Yeah, and you can get some pretty. Well, you can get even less than that. You can get Hyundais and that. But
Sure.
yeah, but say 20 maximum, 15 to 20. With brand new car.
15 to 20.
Yeah. You can
What
get
if
that.
you want more than that?
If you want what?
More than that. More car. You want more car.
Well, you need more income. You know.
So what sort of income are we talking about here? How much should I spend on a car?
Well, then-
is that relative? Is there a formula? Like if you're
There's
earning,
no formula. The car, a basic good car costs in Australia 15,000 to 20,000. You know, you can't get a cheaper car, a brand new car than 20,000, roughly.
Okay, fair enough. Fair
but
enough. It's
once
not so different in America there.
Yeah, if you're now earning better money.
Yeah. So how much money is this to? What sort of money?
Well,
is
if you're
this?
earning say 80,000 a year, 100,000 a year,
Yeah.
or maybe a 40,000 car might be all right for you.
Is there a special formula you say to people or not when they come in? So I want to buy this.
Well, the formula is pay cash. Can't pay cash? Well, then borrow. Borrow as least as possible. Have
Sure.
some equity in the car. So if you buy a
Sure.
car, say the car costs 30,000.
Sure.
If you put nothing in and borrow 100%, when you got a problem and you got to get rid of the car, you lost your job. Well, that car, which is now you owe 25, is worth 20, and you got a real problem because the car is worth less than what you owe.
So you had people who've had this
But
problem?
a lot of people, yes.
And what happens then? What happens then? if they
Well,
have that problem?
the financier repossesses the car and then serves you with a summons for the balance of the payment. They can bankrupt you. You know,
Can't you get into a deal with them or not?
well,
Not really.
well, yes, you can, but they're not really interested in deals, are they? They want their money. So, yes, they might enter into where you can
Sell the car.
Well, no, you
pay the shortfall.
Yeah, well, if you can pay the shortfall, there's not a problem. You can do that. But when you run away or you can't pay, well, they seize the car, they take the car, and they sell it.
Have you had people that's happened?
Yeah, I have.
What,
yeah.
Are they embarrassed about it?
Well, they're certainly not happy about it. They don't sort of put it on
They've had the
on
cars
their business
taken
card
away.
as an asset.
Do they surrender it themselves? What would you say? Surrender it or wait for the repo guy?
No, I think what you do, you sell it yourself first, and then make arrangements with the car people to about the balance owing. Because if they sell it, they'll sell it whatever any price.
But you can't sell it then because you don't have title, do you?
You talk to them and make arrangements, and you'll get a better price yourself than if they sell it, because they sell any price. They're not going to muck
They
around.
wholesale the fuck around.
They're not going to say, oh, well, you can get 3,000 more, or if you wait another week, it'll be $500 more. They're not interested in $500 more. They want you out of their hair because it costs so much to administer that loan.
So
And cars depreciate in value. Why do you want an expensive car? It's worth less.
Sure.
And
so you don't have a formula. If someone's earning whatever they want to buy, this free enterprise world, you can buy whatever the fuck you want. You don't have a formula.
well, the formula is don't spend more than 20,000. That's very simple. And the formula is not what you're trying to get. The formula is, one, do not, when you're starting off, we're saying people who, how much should I spend? Well, when you're starting off in life, you spend 20,000 maximum.
Mm-hmm.
Two, but when you're earning a bit more, you might spend 30 or 40,000. You also don't drive it like a fool, like a rev head. You drive sensibly.
Yes.
Because if you drive like an idiot, well, it's going to cost new tires and repairs. It's going to cost you a lot of money.
Sure.
But cars, and also you don't have two cars. You have you and your partner, your wife. You share the car. You roster it out. You use it, and she uses it. And other times you might use public transport. Two cars are a waste of money in the early stages of
Two cars
life.
are a waste of money.
But I'm sort of basically talking about people starting off. If you've got $1 million in the bank,
buy what you want.
Buy what you like.
Buy what you want.
Buy a Mercedes Benz and pay cash, 100,000.
Yes.
What does it matter? But it's people at the beginning should not spend too much on a car.
I suppose people who are asking this question, how much should I spend
Yeah.
for a car?
They got a
These are
problem.
the same people who were saying the credit card debts. What
Yeah.
do? I have personal loans.
Yeah.
Well, not buying an expensive vehicle will help,
Yeah, it will help.
won't it?
And then if you buy, say if you bought a new car at a reasonable cost, you'll keep that for 5-6 years with minimum cost of repairs.
Yeah.
And that will then help the remaining part of your budget to do other things.
Yeah, that's a very good advice there. So, if you've got a lot of money, you can buy whatever you want.
Yeah, yes. If you've got a lot of money, you can do whatever you like. But if you haven't, you're watching the show and seeing, hey, what should I do?
What should you do? Okay, there we go. How much should I spend for a reliable car? There we go. And just before we go on, how big a car is that? Well, $15,000 to $20,000 worth of car, whatever
Yeah,
that
that's it,
is.
yeah.
It's a basic 4-cylinder car with air conditioning, isn't it?
Basic 4-cylinder car with air conditioning, hopefully automatic perhaps. Some people like manual, but I think now automatic
yeah.
are more reliable, well, very reliable.
Manual's
now.
actually cheaper to fix, but that's irrelevant. But
Yeah.
look, the thing is, that's how it goes there. So if you're asking that question, you shouldn't be spending a lot of money.
No,
Having an expensive car doesn't necessarily help you, does it?
no.
No. There we go.
Waste of money.
Waste of money.
Sing it off.
Why?